the water extract of its root, even diluted up to 250,000 times, still retains a bitter taste. There are few plants in nature like this. This ultimate bitterness is the essence of Coptis. Coptis, a perennial herb in the Ranunculaceae family, thrives in cool and moist mountain environments. When its roots are placed in water, they quickly turn the water yellow. The Chinese name Huang Lian comes from its unique root morphology, which resembles beaded threads. Its roots are linked like beads and yellow in color, as described by Li Shizhen in Compendium of Materia Medica. In Hongya County, Meishan City, Sichuan Province, based on the local name, the Coptis farmers have given their Coptis an exclusive name, Yalian. Every year in the 7th lunar month, the villagers from Heishan village in Hongya County hold a planting kickoff ceremony, which is carried out by generations of Coptis farmers in praise for favorable weather and abundant harvests.
The planting kicks off.
In Hongya, finding suitable land is the first step in planting Yalian, which requires the farmers to set out from their villages and reach in altitudes of 2,000 meters. The journey is treacherous, relying on special vehicles, known locally as climbing beasts, to navigate the muddy mountain roads. Historically, some farmers attempted to plant Yalian at lower altitudes closer to the village for convenience. While the plants survived, their roots completely lost their medicinal properties. That's the way it is. The plant thrives in shady, moist environments, but it is sensitive to excess water. The best conditions for its growth are on slopes with 15 to 60 degrees of incline, an annual rainfall between 1,500 to 2,000 millimeters, and excellent drainage. Perhaps it is the mist-shrouded and steep mountain slopes that led the first wild Yalian to take root on the Huaoshan mountain. Yalian only flowers, but does not produce seeds. Unable to complete the sexual reproduction process normally, it relies on underground horizontal stolons for reproduction, resulting in relatively slow growth and very low yields. It takes at least 5 years for a Yalian plant to mature and be ready for harvest. During its growth, Yalian continuously secretes highly bitter alkaloids, which help protect it from harmful microorganisms and animals that might be tempted to sample its roots. These defensive weapons, born out of adversity, to resist external threats, are crucial components of Yalian's medicinal value. This is not unique to Yalian. Most herbal medicinal components are born from survival strategies in adverse environments. In 5 years, the harvest of Yalian will come. Few people, apart from the farmers, notice whether the soil beneath their feet is bitter or sweet. Farmers have a unique way of identifying the soil's quality. They insert a bamboo pole 1 foot deep into the ground and bring out some soil. If the soil from planting Yalian has a sweet aftertaste, then they take a bit of soil and roll it between their fingers. If it can form a strip, it means the viscosity is sufficient. If it tastes sweet, it indicates good soil for planting Yalian. But why does Yalian need to grow in soil with a sweet taste despite its naturally bitter nature? Experts from the Chinese Academy of Chinese Medical Sciences conducted experiments and found that the sweetness of the soil is related to its aeration. The moist and loose soil of the Huaoshan mountain has great aeration, which allows a wide variety of microorganisms to thrive. Their metabolites, when volatile, mix with other substances, giving rise to a fresh and sweet scent. This oxygen-rich soil facilitates water drainage and nutrient absorption, making it Yalian's favorite habitat. However, this sweet soil cannot be used to plant the same species again for the next 30 to 60 years.
We conducted experiments where the younger generation planted on land previously used by the older generation, and we found that the plants could not grow roots at all.
Do you know about Yalian? First, Yalian has large scaly nodes, like a horn plier, so in this case, we have to burn wood to smoke it. The fire should not be too strong, otherwise, the fire will burn it all.
Mao Yalian is an essential process for Hongya farmers before they head out. Mao refers to the method of smoking it to remove the inherent cold properties of Coptis. When traveling, if one is not acclimatized with symptoms such as diarrhea, they can scrape off the outer charcoal layer, soak the Coptis in water and drink it to relieve the symptoms.
When you travel somewhere, your body may be not adjusting well, like you get a stomach upset from eating. Just carry a piece of Yalian with you.
Although Coptis tastes bitter, it carries a father's endless care for his son.
For generations we have been planting medicinal herbs, and we are known as herbal farmers. What does herbal farmer mean? Those who grow grains are called grain farmers, while we who grow medicinal herbs are called herbal farmers.
In Heishan village, the elderly Coptis farmers proudly filled herbal farmer in the occupation section of their household registration. These two words often imply a higher standard of growing, stricter harvesting requirements, and a legacy of making a living from medicine and benefiting the world.
In the 1980s, local herbal farmers gave up growing Yalian because it was difficult to cultivate and yielded very little. It wasn't until the early 21st century that we began to preserve Yalian farming.
Plants usually grow their roots deep into the soil due to gravity, water, and fertilizer. However, the root of Coptis grows upward. This upward growth depends on the cooperation of the farmers. Earthing up is a crucial step in cultivating Coptis, and the amount of soil added relies heavily on experience. Too much earthing up results in thin and long roots with insufficient medicinal properties, while too little or no earthing up causes the roots to be unable to absorb enough nutrients and lack support for upward growth, leading to abnormally short and thick branches without stem nodes. Chicken dung. The local farmers call this type of Coptis root chicken dung. A vivid name that not only describes the unique shape, but also indicates a significant drop in medicinal and economic value. Therefore, when planting Coptis, farmers directly plant the seedlings in soil to a depth of 15 centimeters and collect decayed soil every autumn to cover them as a perfectly sized blanket, ensuring that the root of each plant grows upward smoothly, sprouting new branches year after year. There are various types of Coptis with different shapes, and the production areas are widespread. Apart from Yalian growing as a single stem with multiple horizontal stripes, there are also varieties such as Wei Lian shaped like a chicken claw and Yun Lian shaped like a scorpion tail. Despite their different appearances, all three share similar bitterness and medicinal efficacy. Therefore, in traditional Chinese medicine, they are all grouped under the name Huang Lian. In Huangshui Town, Shizhou Tujia Autonomous County, Chongqing, the elderly use Coptis-infused water as a way to help wean infants. Before tasting the various flavors of the world, they first experience the bitterness of life. Every day in the future will be a sweet reward after bitterness. as handicrafts are gradually replaced by industrial production lines. There is still a popular blacksmith shop in Lichuan City, Hubei Province. Every October, the furnace burns night and day, and orders from the local Coptis farmers are in short supply. The harvest time for Coptis is approaching. Blacksmithing was once one of the 8 major professions in rural areas. When it comes to fieldwork, the right tools are essential. This pair of scissors is the unique tool for local farmers in harvesting. Coptis has many roots and grows densely. During harvesting, the petioles and leaves need to be removed, leaving only the medicinal roots. The wide blade brings enough weight to facilitate force and perfectly copes with the entangled thick roots. This pair of scissors, 40 centimeters long, about 2 to 4 times the length of ordinary scissors, in size, is like Guan Yu's green dragon crescent blade, the unparalleled edge. The mountain road is rugged. She often goes up the mountain to harvest Coptis with the farmers from the same village.
Take out the scissors.
When a Coptis plant is taken out of the soil, scissors come into play. Scraping the soil off the roots with the back, cutting off the smaller roots with the straight edge, and trimming the larger leaves with the curved edge. Soon, the fresh Coptis is ready to be taken home. Throughout history, people have known the bitterness of Coptis. But where does this bitterness come from? Under the optical microscope, the cells of Coptis are clearly visible, and these cells contain a large amount of organic alkaloids, particularly berberine. This yellow substance is the main source of Coptis's bitterness, and is also an important component of its medicinal value.
Evaluators, please evaluate the taste of Coptis and record its bitterness level.
Alkaloids tend to be bitter. Some even extremely bitter to the point of being spicy, creating a burning sensation on the lips and tongue. They exist in large amounts in human life. Coffee, tea, bitter gourd, and garlic all contain a lot of alkaloids. However, the bitterness of Coptis surpasses all these, making it one of the finest bitterness among over 18,000 traditional Chinese medicinal resources today. Sour, bitter, sweet, spicy, and salty are the 5 familiar flavors. Each flavor requires specific genes and taste receptors to perceive it. The sensation of bitterness is caused by a particular bitter taste receptor in the human body, known as TAS2R.
Studies show that Chinese people have particularly sensitive versions of these receptors, especially TAS2R16, which makes us highly responsive to bitterness.
This receptor exists in large numbers on the surface of the mouth and tongue, like little sentries, responsible for sensitively detecting bitterness and avoiding toxic substances in nature.
People who are sensitive to this have a clear evolutionary advantage. They can not only find delicious and safe food, but also avoid those that are toxic.
According to Shennong's Herbal Classic, Coptis grows in the valleys of Sichuan, which is Hunan and Jiangxi province today. Later, Zhejiang and Anhui province are also developed into the genuine production areas of Coptis, which is not only due to the climate and geology suitable for plant growth, but also because the people living in these regions have long been accustomed to growing and processing this medicinal herb, passing down cultivation techniques and processing methods. This rich heritage has ultimately established Coptis as a genuine medicinal material. Unlike vegetables and fruits that emphasize freshness, medicinal herbs need to be dried before they can be sold. Coptis, or Huang Lian, is no exception. The traditional drying method requires the use of a heated bed. In some households, when it's time for harvest, a temporary heated bed is set up directly in the mountains. Others construct reusable heated beds at home. Operating a heated bed requires skill and patience. The roots must be constantly turned over, and both time and heat need to be carefully controlled. When the roots are dried to a point where it breaks easily, the attached soil becomes dry and brittle, crumbling into dust at the slightest touch. At this point, farmers place the dried roots in an olive-shaped bamboo cage to further sift out soil and broken pieces. This tool, exclusively designed for processing Coptis, is called a sifting cage. There is a giant sifting cage for processing Coptis in Lichuan City, which requires 16 people to operate. Through repeated pushing and rotating, the soil, rootlets, and residual petioles attached to the dried roots are sifted out, making it ready for medicinal use. In Lichuan City, not only the giant sifting cage stands out. Every year, some of the Coptis grow exceptionally large due to favorable conditions. These large Coptis are gathered for the Coptis competition.
Coptis number 4 wins the title of Coptis King. Let's give him another round of applause. Congratulations.
It has 52 branches. The large number of branches indicates a high yield. Typically, the Coptis 5 years old weighs only 200 to 300 grams, but this 7-year-old Coptis weighed 1,074 grams, deserving the title of Coptis King.
Most of Coptis in China, approximately 90%, ends up at the Coptis trading market in Shizhou, waiting for the best offer. Mr. Liu, a well-known local herb purchaser in Shizhou, has a unique set of criteria for selecting medicines.
I prefer those dried on a traditional heated bed, which can be identified by their long and straight shape. Distinct long strips. Those dried on a traditional heated bed are a bit dark gray, and their scales are less shiny. We will measure the palmitoene content of Coptis. The scales Coptis are related to the palmitoene content, so they cannot be removed. So preserving the scales is crucial for maintaining the medicinal properties of Coptis.
To fully utilize the medicinal herbs, it is not just about perfecting the drying technique and selection criteria. A deeper scientific understanding of the plant is also required. Yuan Qingjun and Sun Jiehui are members of the 4th National TCM Resources Survey Team. For them, this job is hard, but full of fun. Over the past decade, the survey team members have traveled across China, contributing significantly to protecting the diversity and integrity of Chinese medicinal resource. During the survey, the team discovered in Jiangxi province that wild short-sepaled Coptis was used by the Red Army Hospital in the Jingang Mountains to treat diseases between 1927 and 1929. This wild short-sepaled Coptis is the earliest wild genuine species, with a history dating back to the Tang dynasty over 1,000 years ago. However, it has not been seen in recent years. So, does this wild species still exist today? Fortunately, the survey team rediscovered this wild species in the untouched forests of the Jingang Mountains. The rediscovery of this wild species is a major breakthrough for experts. Professor Yuan suggested that the Jingang Mountains should be established as a key protection zone for short-sepaled Coptis, aiming to expand its population and contribute to genetic improvement of cultivated Coptis, potentially in the future. At this moment, good news came again. Another wild population of Coptis appeared within the census team's site. The Jiuwan National Nature Reserve in Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region is home to rich wild flora and fauna. Local villagers sometimes dig up Coptis while collecting herbs. The Coptis they find is remarkably large, some even reaching half a meter in length, about 10 centimeters longer than the Coptis king selected in the competition. Could this be an exaggeration by the villagers, or is there something unique about the environment that has led to this variation in Coptis? With deep doubts, Yuan Qingjun and Sun Jiehui ventured deep into the Jiuwan Mountains. The mountain roads were rough, and the herbal farmer Pang had to frequently use a sickle to clear a path. At times, they had to climb the rocky cliffs where streams pass to continue their journey.
What's this?
We call it Guazi Sao. We call it Sikuawa. We call it Qi Yi Lian. We call it Ju Long Dan.
Finally, the survey team found 5 or 6 wild Coptis plants near a small stream. Let me measure the first one. You can number this as 001.
30 centimeters. The second one is 002. 25.5 centimeters. The third one, 37.6 centimeters. There is a small one here. It should be a seedling that has just sprouted.
Maybe they haven't grown enough. These Coptis plants were not as huge as the villagers described. News came from Yaomeipao, Huanjiang County, tens of kilometers away, that more giant Coptis had been found there. Yuan Qingjun and his team immediately crossed the mountain and hurried to the other side of the nature reserve. Led by the villager Zhao, the survey team found them. And these Coptis plants were significantly larger. Despite being separated by only one mountain, the size difference was so significant. While excited, the experts discussed the identification of their species.
48 centimeters and a bit more. Pick up the longest one.
$52.5 centimeters.
52.5 centimeters. It's probably not the biggest. I found a 57 centimeter one over there. Pull it slowly. Pull harder. I'll loosen these rootlets. This won't break. We found that the wild population of short-sepaled Coptis is tall, more than 4 times taller than the short-sepaled Coptis in the Jingang Mountains. At this point, we noticed that these two with such a significant size difference are still classified as the same variant, which raises some questions. Now let's look at its roots. we can see that it is composed of segments. So, this root, this is a single one, an independent one. There are obvious morphological differences. The Coptis we found in the Jingang Mountains, even a small one like this, is at least 7 or 8 years old. This one is segmented and each segment is quite large. This one is also segmented, but each segment is very small, making it look small overall. So, we think that it's quite a stretch to consider them as the same group or variant.
If the larger Coptis is really a new species, and if its medicinal properties are proportional to its size, then the discovery of this species will undoubtedly be a great help to the cultivation of large-scale Coptis. With excitement, experts systematically collected samples of the Coptis discovered in Huanjiang and conducted a systematic phytogeographic analysis of similar species from places such as the Jingang Mountains and Huangshan, as well as currently cultivated Coptis populations.
So now we have sufficient evidence and certainty to classify it as a new species. It was first discovered in Huanjiang, so the name of this new species is Coptis huanjiangensis.
Coptis has demanding growth conditions. It requires a long period to mature and has a low yield. The discovery of this new species brings new hope for the development of new Coptis sources. How to combine the yield advantage of Coptis huanjiangensis with the content advantage of cultivated Coptis to create a more superior species is the next question Professor Yuan's team is exploring.
The discovery of this new species fills a missing link in the biological evolution chain. The new species is a resource.
Protecting this population means achieving in-place protection. We need to add some artificial intervention appropriately to use it to improve the diversity of our cultivated Coptis, which is very important.
The discovery of the new species reflects the depth and scope of the survey efforts. So how do we demonstrate our results and achievements? Firstly, it is the discovery of new species, new groups and new distributions. Secondly, it is to correct some deficiencies or errors made by predecessors. Thirdly, it is to gain recognition from the predecessors who have conducted the third National Resource Survey.
A few months later, when Professor Yuan visited Huanjiang again, this patch of Coptis had grown to a magnificent scale. Nowadays, through selective cultivation and years of traditional Chinese medicinal resource surveys, the production of Chinese Coptis has increased significantly. This herb, known for its bitterness and coldness, has finally been an affordable herbal medicine. Today, berberine is extracted from the plant and widely used in traditional Chinese medicine formulations, dietary supplements, cosmetics, and more. For thousands of years, in the face of various hardships, Chinese people often say, Xin Ku. Ku, bitterness, is the essence of Coptis. For thousands of years, Chinese people have used this bitter herb to clear heat and detoxify, bringing comfort to life.